Well, here we are. My back to the bike week. I've ridden the BMWs, the GS, 1200GS, the 1200 RT. A couple of days later now, here I am at Suzuki Daventry, and we're going to go out on the Vstrom 650. Beautiful looking bike with these bronze coloured wheels. And I guess my dilemma today is that this bike probably does everything I need it to do on a motorbike. Probably be very easy to handle. I know it's very easy to handle. I've ridden it already. Will it have enough power? That's the question today. For the longer tours, the bigger hills, bit of luggage on board. So let's have a safe journey, shall we? So again, we're just going to take it out for about 3/4 of an hour or so. So I rode this at the Suzuki Cafe ride a week and a half ago. Really liked it, I have to say. It just felt so easy to ride. This would be the sensible choice. Obviously it's the cheapest of the 4 bikes I'm looking at. This the 650 Vstrom XT, the 1000, the two BMW 1200s. I think I'm beginning to revise my expectations as well, price wise. I think to get a sort of a BMW 1200 with around about 5,000 miles on, 2.5 years old, we're probably looking nearer 12,000 I think than 11. So a lot of information to digest. But yeah, beautiful day for a ride out today. As I say, I think this bike's going to do everything I want a motorbike to do, actually. Seating position is very comfortable. I think one of the things I like about this is the fact the dash is actually quite austere. It's just very simple. It presents in a very simple format all the information that you need. Fresh day today, about 12 degrees. Unlike when I rode the BMWs, the conditions are absolutely dry today. Bit of late autumn sunshine. You can immediately tell the difference in weight between this and the BMWs. That's where my muscle memory is at the moment, and that was obviously they were heavier bikes. This is immediately feels lighter, very user friendly. Beautiful day to ride out in the English countryside. For those of you watching my previous video, I had a few problems with the Shoei Neotech helmet steaming up. And of course, you guess who's to blame? Yours truly. Didn't have the vents open. Blue flashing lights. Looks like police. Someone's in trouble somewhere. Glad it's not me. Good job I was checking my mirrors. Give myself a little pat on the back there. Yeah, so the 650 XT, beautiful wire wheels. Just looks the part really. It's for the kind of biker that I am. I want the bike to give me as much help as it possibly can. And the fact this bike has traction control, has ABS brakes. Another little feature it's got, which is quite nice, is a start assist on the clutch, which basically means it's a lot harder to stall the bike, particularly if you're sort of around town, roundabouts, that kind of thing. So I know when I was on my back to biking day, I stalled quite a few times then, but I guess my competence has come up just a little bit since then. Certainly that would be a big help really. And I think the only differences between the 650 XT and the 1000 XT are the 1000 has a slipper clutch, which as I understand it reduces the sort of harshness of engine braking when changing down, and also it's got a Bosch lean intelligent traction control system, so when you're going around the corners, it takes that into consideration as well when it's making its calculations about whether to reduce a little bit of the power to the back wheel, I think. So, not that I'm an expert on these things, you understand. So I don't know whether, I presume you can hear this, but the wind noise on the Vstrom, I think is an issue. When you talk to you look at on the blogs and again back on YouTube videos, and you see the kind of feedback that's on the 650 particularly, the wind noise is an issue. So that's something that would have to be cured, I think, by an aftermarket screen. Cost a lot, I don't think. Yeah, the 1000 XT has this. We'll look at it later on, but it's this screen. You can, very simple design actually, 3-position screen. You just literally give it a prod. It's on a bit of a simple ratchet system, but you can at least adjust the angle when on the move, as long as you take care. But as well as that, you can, I think, just like on this screen, you can raise the height. But you need an Allen key to do that. Can't tell you how much of a joy it is to be back on 2 wheels. And I think, as I said, this is the simplest bike I'll be riding. It's in a hurry. I suspect Suzuki are going to sell an awful lot of these. You know, they're at a decent price point. Certainly very affordable, and I mean this in the nicest kind of way. I get the impression it's a jack of all trades. It's going to do a bit of everything. You can take it off-road, although the ground clearance is not as big as, let's say, some off-road bikes. But then I wouldn't be taking it off-road anyway. Maybe up a farm track or something like that, but nothing serious. As a touring machine, certainly read the reports, look at the blogs, and people have a lot of fun on these, even 2-up going across Europe with luggage. So I won't be taking pillions. That's not something I'm going to be doing. Plenty of power actually. When I compare the 1000 later on, I want to have a good sort of 45 minutes or an hour on this, just to get the feel of the sort of flickability of it really, and just how user friendly it is. And when I ride the 1000 later on, I guess it's the question, do I really need the extra power? Is that a vanity thing, or is that something that's part of my requirement? And what does the extra weight do to the handling? Yeah, I look at a load of blogs and so forth and YouTube, and the impression people who've owned the 1000 think it's a very nimble bike. Okay, onto the motorway. Well, to me, I've got to say that pulls like a train. Sixth gear. More than enough power. My legs wrapped around the tank feel as though they're very well isolated from the wind blast. I'm not really feeling any wind blast at all on that. I'm picking it up around my helmet, but I imagine that I think actually the screen is on the lowest position in fairness, so that would improve a little. But were I to buy this bike, I would certainly put some kind of aftermarket product on there. I've been looking at a number of things that might do the trick, from Touratech About 70 quid. You can put like a little Vario clip-on type thing on the top. Jivvy do one, which I think replaces the whole screen and is more involved. It certainly lifts the height, but also again, like the Touratech, like the MRA Vario screen, works using the Venturi effect, where essentially you've got two plates of perspex parallel to each other. The airflow goes through there and is channeled up over the rider's head. I don't know whether you can pick that up, but I love the sound of this engine. Never ridden a V twin until I sat on one of these at the Super Sausage Cafe. It's just a wonderful sound. It sounds like a motorbike should. Lovely riding position on this. You feel very comfortable. The seat supports the small of your back. Nicely padded. I'm sure if you could address the wind blast issue with some kind of aftermarket screen, then this would be a very comfortable cockpit. Looks like there's a fire. The guy with the blue flashing lights who came past me before, and then there's a fire vehicle headed in the other direction, so hope everybody's okay. Well, I launched my YouTube channel, some of you might have seen it. So I've had to learn how to use YouTube, had to learn how to shoot video, attach helmet cameras, upload a video, use Power Director 15, all these new skills, which again was part of the project for me, just get the brain going and something to enjoy. And I've had a massive 43 hits so far on my R1200GS review. Obviously some pretty desperate people out there. Thank you for all concerned, taking an interest. I can't wait to get my own bike, very much looking forward to it. Again, you'll note today I'm riding very cautiously, even though it's dry. I'm still, I think I've got to give myself a good 3 to 6 months in the novice class. So the route today, a little bit of dual carriageway, which we've just done. And then it's A roads and B roads. Let's get the feel of her. Try and store that feeling away so I can compare it with the 1000 this afternoon. And then it's reflection time, really. Again, this might just be me very subjectively, but I'm trying to compare this with the R1200GS. I know you probably can't compare them, but I'm going to do it anyway. This is just as comfortable. I believe it has less vibration. Talked about that on that video. Although it wasn't intrusive particularly, I'm sure you get used to that, but it is noticeable for me, just perceptible. I think with the GS there is a sense of more sort of what I call superstructure sitting in front of you. What my wife would think if I told her I wanted both bikes, the 1200 RT and one of these little 650s. In this kind of environment, I would imagine this 650 is perfect. These sort of minor A roads, it's just perfect. It's optimised to it, really. It's very handleable. It's so easy to ride. I guess the question mark is for the 10% of the time I would be taking such a bike, doing some of the bigger miles, you know, where you're spending maybe 4 or 5 hours on a motorway, would you feel a bit exposed? Would you appreciate a bit more weight, a bit more power? I'm sure this would get you there. Take you up to Scotland. So one of the questions with this bike is I want a bit of a technical challenge in terms of skills, in terms of raising the bar. And I'm sure the 650 is going to give me all of that in terms of getting back on the bike and the roadcraft and so forth. But is it too easy a bike to ride, or is that a good thing for me? If I bought one of these, would I always regret not buying a 1200 RT? Would I regret not buying the 1000 XT? I think as far as I'm concerned now, in terms of where I am, the GS is off the menu. Can't really see myself on one of those. Trying to remind myself of trying to stop in the distance, that being capable of stopping the distance I can see to be safe. Seems to be quite a strong aftermarket for the Vstrom as well. I think it's a bike that's been around for all the years now. There's lots of toys you can put on. So were I to buy the 650 or the 1000, I'd certainly have quite a long shopping list of engine bars, extra lights, panniers, top box. I'd want a navigation suite on it as well, some kind of GPS. Although again, that's an interesting question, because to buy a decent Garmin you're looking over 500. Lots of 3.5-star reviews for both Garmin and TomTom. And will a mobile phone do it just as well? But then of course you've got to waterproof it. Crossing the Fosse Way now on the left and on the right. So the Fosse Way is one of the major arterial Roman roads in the UK. Just here. So at one point this would have been a frontier. And enabled the Romans to move goods, services, administration, bureaucrats, tax collectors and the legions up and down the country. B road now, but it's in those days it was a major motorway, or as our American cousins would call it, a freeway. Low flying horses, keep your eyes open. Time of year in the UK where the farmers are busy on the fields, ploughing, sowing. Have to watch out for tractors, and I just saw there a load of straw on the road. It's funny, I've noticed already, even just with this little bit of just a few hours of motorcycling under my belt, that my driving skills in the car have, I believe, have improved actually, just in terms of observation, use of mirrors and so forth. And also awareness of motorcyclists, obviously. Yeah, you can see these fields on the left have just been ploughed. There's a tractor ahead, harrowing. What a wonderful country this is. Very much in the heart of England here. Actually in Warwickshire at the moment, but not too far from Northamptonshire. Coming into the borough of Stratford-on-Avon. William Shakespeare. I can see I'm definitely going to have to get myself onto a deserted car park. Put quite a few hours of practice into the slow manoeuvring, the sort of tight turns. So this lovely old half-timbered house on the right-hand side. It's going to be 500 years old. So one of my tests today for this bike is the what she's like on the hills. Not really a chance to test that properly today, but we've got a couple of reasonable hills coming up. I'm just expecting it just to breeze through them, to be honest. I can think possibly the only negative for me on the XT is the fact that on some of the longer journeys, would I be more comfortable on the 1000 XT? Now again, I'm not saying this can't do those longer journeys, I'm sure it can, but just that extra bit of comfort, that extra bit of power. Went for a Greek night there once. They started dancing around and smashing the plates. Good fun. She really pulls. I reckon the next innovation on motorbikes will be the head-up display that you can read in direct sunlight. Because it's quite a look down actually to look down at the instrument. So if you have that information almost on the top of your screen there, so much easier. Even fractions of a second. I know cars are getting the HUDs now. Only a matter of time before they appear on the bikes, I should imagine, if someone hasn't already got one. Well, this bike just gives off a whole atmosphere of calm and tranquility. I can't really think there can be a more user-friendly motorbike on the road. It's going to do everything. It's very cost-effective. I think, if I'm honest, this bike would do everything I need. Is the bike everything I want? Is it the vanity of having the 1000 and the extra power? Something I always wanted. Okay, so we've got a hill here, so let's do a little test in 6th gear. Nobody behind me. Well, certainly pulls very well uphill in 6th gear. You could be very lazy on this bike, I think, if you wanted to, in terms of your gear changing. Can't get much further from the sea than Northamptonshire. Yeah, I'm on another hill here. I mean, this bike just pulls like a train, really.